My people, what's going on, man? Hope y'all having a great and beautiful day or whatnot. If you ain't, if y'all ain't, think about it. Change your mind. Think will whatever the situation may be, will it matter in seconds to days to weeks to months? If the answer is no, right? If the answer is no, change your mind on it. You know. But as you can see, I'm in nature. I got a garden. I got like watermelon, squash, cucumbers, or whatnot, and I've been neglecting it for a minute. So after this video, I'm gonna go back there and attend to it. But the video topic is: do you need cardio, or are your daily steps enough to lose fat, right, or to lose weight? And I was talking to somebody about this last night, and I wanted to share it with you guys, right? And if you do watch my videos, I always say that in order to lose fat, you must be in a calorie deficit, right? In order to lose fat, you must be in a calorie deficit. That is the root of fat loss. You cannot lose fat any other way. It is simple mathematics, right? But moving from the root, you got cardio, you got steps, right? And you can lose fat by doing cardio. You can lose fat by getting your steps in. But your diet has to be in check first, right? So what I would recommend, right, is you get your diet in check. Now I'm gonna give you an example. If you are a 250-pound male or 250-pound person, I'm not gonna even put a gender on it. If you are a 250-pound person, and for example, you want to get to 200 pounds, right? I would do, you can Google it, basal calculator or whatnot. But if you don't want to Google it, I times my body weight times 12 to 15, right? So if I was 250 pounds and I wanted to get to 200 pounds, I would do 200 pounds times 13, right? It's kind of like the middle point of 12 to 15 in a sense. I do 200 times 13, and whatever that amount it gives me, that's the amount of calories I start with. That'll be my base for my calories, right? You will already be in a deficit if you was a 250-pound male and you was eating like a 200-pounder, right? It is impossible for a person that weighs 200 pounds, for a person who weighs 250 pounds to be eating like a 200-pound person and still be 250 pounds, right? I'm gonna say it again because I may have messed up. It is impossible for a person that weighs 250 pounds to eat like a 200-pound person and still be 250 pounds. It is impossible, right? Now moving from that, you are already in the deficit eating like a 200-pound person. But I would then recommend getting my steps in, daily amount of steps. For me, I get my minimum, right? My daily steps is 5,000 steps a day, right? I get that every day. That is my minimum. That is my non-negotiable. A lot of people, especially you that may be watching, you negotiate with your non-negotiables. That doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to have standards, and you're supposed to keep your standards to the highest degree or to your best of your abilities. Sometimes we do fall short, but you shouldn't fall short all the time. I was having a talk with one of my friends or whatnot, and they asked me, how often do you slip? And I say, I slip less than I'm more consistent in. So meaning that out of a 7-day period, I might miss one time out of the 7. So I'm good 6 times, I might miss one time. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be more consistent than you are with your slippage. I don't even know if that's a word, but I have my diet in check. I have a daily amount of steps, right? Diet, daily amount of steps, right? What I recommend for most people starting off is between 4,000 to 8,000 steps a day. I think the average person can get that, 4,000 to 8,000 steps a day. Once you get that and your diet in check, look at working out consistently, at least 3 times to 5 times out the week. 3 to 5 times out the week. Reason being is because when a person wants to lose fat or lose weight, they want to also look a certain way. The weights are going to tell your body to look a certain way. The weights are going to send a signal to your body to hold on to this muscle and get rid of the fat, right? Only way. If you're not lifting weights, your body's not getting the signal, and your body's just dropping whatever. You don't want your body to drop whatever, because you'll look like something you don't want to look like. You know, you see these people that's losing weight and when they get down to the weight, they still kind of look the same. They have like they don't have any definition. They don't have any shape or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So lift weights or do calisthenics, but do it consistently on a weekly basis. If it's 7 days out the week, at least do it 3 times out the week. You got 3 days you can do it. You know, you may say, oh, I got kids, or I'm always working or whatnot. Man, if you're always working and you got kids or whatever the excuse may be, then you shouldn't have enough time to be eating. You know. Hey, Kevin Gates has said, if you owe me some money, why you lose? If you owe me some money, why you gaining weight? Like what? You know what I'm saying? So if you so busy, it ain't no way you should be stuffing your mouth to gain weight. In actuality, you should be skinny if you so busy doing what you doing, whatever you say that you may be doing, right? But going back to the topic, is cardio necessary to lose fat? No, cardio is not necessary to lose fat. But once you get your diet in check or whatnot, and you get your steps in check on 4,008, and then you start lifting weights in a consistent manner, then if you want to do a little bit of cardio, do the cardio. It ain't nothing wrong with cardio. It ain't nothing wrong with traditional cardio. If you want to do an hour on the treadmill, an hour on the Stairmaster, an hour whatever, do it. I don't do it personally, but it's okay to do it. But the thing be, for most people, when they doing an hour on the treadmill, an hour on the Stairmaster or whatever, their diet's not in check, and they believe that doing that will suffice for the bad diet. You can't out-train a bad diet in check, because if you don't keep your diet in check, that hour is in vain, and you did it for nothing. You just did it to release some sweat or whatnot, release some impurities out your skin or whatnot, but that hour will be not sufficient if you are eating bad. But like I said, diet in check, work out consistently 3 to 4 times, 3 to 5 times out the week, get your steps in, and you can lose fat like that. But is cardio necessary? No, cardio is not necessary. If you like to do it, do it. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But just remember, even though you're doing that cardio to quote unquote lose fat, if the first thing isn't in check, then that last thing is gonna be in vain.